What's up, party people? How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a beautiful Wednesday. Today's a great day. I already know all of us are we're gonna do wonderful things today. It's always good. Yo, I'm happy to see everybody. What up, Tone Cone? What up, Ant? What up, Tim Tyler? Appreciate you, Tim Tyler, with that donation. What's up, Shakes? What's up, One? How's everybody doing today? It's a beautiful day. A couple of things I want to get to in the monologue today. For everybody that don't know, we usually what up, Manuel? What up, D Williams? What up, Mike? Double M. For everybody that don't know, we usually do the monologue in the beginning of the show. So give everybody an opportunity to get in here. Anybody that so nobody don't have to miss anything if there's anything that somebody wanted to see. Tim Tyler with the donation before the show even started. You the man, my brother. I appreciate you. Let me get a snapshot of that real quick. Okay, there we go. Appreciate you. So I just want to make a quick comment about the elections yesterday. And remember yesterday when I was talking about how everybody should go out and vote? Remember how I was talking about how everybody should go out and vote? So, and I told you that often us Black people, we have a dependency on thinking that the only people that we should vote for is Democrats. And I was busy saying that you should find out who's doing what. Like, you really need to know who's doing what. A lot of times we vote against our best interests, and we need to stop doing that. I'm not saying go vote for Republican. I'm just saying find out what the individual is trying to push and find out a little bit of their history, at least a little bit of their history, their political history, so you can find out what people will be doing when they actually get elected to whatever the motherfucking position is that they're going for. What's up, Ashton? How you doing, my brother? All right, so let me see if it's on this phone. I hope it's on this phone. It might not be on this phone, the thing I'm looking for. What up, Jules? How you doing today, baby girl? Did I say what's up one night? It might not be on this phone. If it's not on this phone, I'm going to be a little disappointed. All right, it is on this phone. All right, so there's a lady that they went and they asked her who she was voting for. And come on, what the hell? They asked her who she was voting for. And I'm going to tell you what the lady says. Look, the lady says, I'll show you the story. The lady says, Georgia woman tells CNN she's voting for Republican. Brian Kemp, because I always vote for freedom. That's what it is, Ashton. Good morning, Manuel. The person said they always votes for freedom. So just think about that for a minute. What up, Mr. Anderson? Just think about that for a minute. This individual, what's up, Lady Blue? This individual said they vote Republican because they always vote for freedom. Just think about that for a minute. Think about that. Now, this is the exact opposite of what I said people should do. You understand what I'm saying? This woman is voting very unintelligently. She's just voting she's voting on party lines. She's voting very unintelligently. Now, why would she vote like that? Why would she vote like that? Just think about that for a minute. Why would she vote like that? What does she consider freedom to be? Now, this is the funniest thing out of all of this. This whole entire story, I'm going to tell you what the funniest thing about all of this is. Everybody do know that the states that get the most government assistance of any kind are the red states, right? Y'all know this, right? The red states get more government assistance than any blue. They lead the government assistance in the country is the red states, and they are also the same states because they're red states that consistently vote Republicans into office. Consistently. These are a whole bunch of people that because of, I'm not going to call it racism because we don't do hate speech over here. But these are a whole lot of people that due to their belief system that has nothing to do with politics, they have decided that they're only going to vote for a certain type of people even though the type of people that they vote for go directly against their best interest. Think about that for a minute. Think about you hating your neighbor so much that you're ready to burn down your own house so your neighbor doesn't have anywhere to live. Good morning, Paul Bass. Good morning, Wayne. Think about that. Just think about that. Now, I'm not saying that this lady's on public assistance. I'm not saying that this lady gets any kind of check at all from the government. I'm not saying this at all. But what I'm saying is the Republicans, I'm not talking about the actual people who do the voting. I'm talking about the people that get voted into office. They often take money out of programs that are used to help build up the country in order to put money into programs that line the pockets of their friends that have some kind of, that make guns or, tanks and shit like that. They do this. And then you have people that believe that voting for them is voting for freedom, when all voting for them is voting to help them continuously take our money to put it into the pockets of their friends. You can't script this shit. Anyway, Blue says she don't vote. I'm not even knocking you. Yes, there will be no Social Security in very soon. In our lifetime, the Social Security funds are supposed to run out. You're absolutely right, Paul Bass, because they keep taking the money from the Social Security funds and putting it into war. I agree with you, Tone Cone. I don't think it's hate speech either if I'm calling a cat a cat. But we are going to avoid all technicalities over here. What's up, Shy? Sorry to hear that you're sick. Anyway, so there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about today. And so one of the main things that I wanted to talk about, one of the main talking points I wanted to have is that I don't believe people really understand how important it is to raise and love the kids. I just don't think people understand how important it is. A lot of times people think as long as my kid grow until they're 18 years old, I did my job. And I know I'm sounding like I'm funny, but there really are people that believe this. There really are people that believe that as long as their kid somehow didn't die before they turn 18 years old, I mean, that there's a great parent over here. There's people that believe that. Okay. So I just wanted to break something down to you that a lot of people might not know. Do you understand? And I've been saying this for the longest, so this is not nothing new. This is just me coming with a conversation that we've had prior or we've had previously, and just bringing the conversation back up because we have to understand how important it is that we raise our children correctly. It's very important. We can't wait for our children to become 10, 12, 13, 14 years old, and then we're going to decide to be fucking parents. We can't do that. We have to be parents from when they are born until we're not capable of being parents for them anymore. You understand? For whatever the reason might be. Okay, we're not having that type of language. Lady Blue, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but we're not doing that this morning. Okay, Lady Blue, we ain't doing that this morning. Good morning, Wakanda. I appreciate your enthusiasm, though, baby girl. You the best. But we're not doing that this morning. There is actual proof, scientific proof, that the formidable years of a child are the most important years in a human's life. That up until the age of 7, the child's brain is made in such a way that it intakes everything that it takes in everything. It's like a sponge. I know everybody has heard this before. What's up, Bloom? What's up, Nikema? I know people have heard this before. But I don't think we truly understand how important it is as a community. And when I say as a community, I don't mean blacks or whites or Italians or whatever. I mean as a community as far as the human race. I don't think that we really truly understand how important this is. They say up until a child is 7, right? You know what a child is actually doing when it's watching and it's observing? There's 2 ways that we learn. Okay. One of the ways that we learn is through, there's two ways that we learn. Let's just be clear on this. One of the ways that we learn is through, yes, I have notes. It's through hypnotism. Is being hypnotized. That's one of the ways in which we learn. This is a fact. I'm telling you what I'm telling you right now is facts. What do you think is happening to children exactly when they're watching you, when they're observing? What do you think is happening? Their brain knows nothing. They're watching and not observing. No, we're not talking about that type of stuff. I'm taking this right out. I'm telling everybody right now, all trolls is going to be kicked. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. We're not doing that. We're talking about the kids today. Anybody that come in here and they want to talk some crazy stuff while we talking about the kids, you will be kicked. And I don't care who you are, admin or not. We're not doing that today. We're talking about the kids. Kick. We're not playing with nobody today. Hide them. What's up, DJ? How you doing this morning? One of the ways in which we learn is by hypnotism. You understand what I'm saying? When we're children, we don't know anything. Everything that we see is brand new to us. You understand what I'm saying? Children are being hypnotized. This is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. Good morning, KD. This is a good thing. Another way that we learn is through repetition. You understand what I'm saying? Repeatedly doing something over and over and over and over until it's ingrained in us. You understand what I'm saying? So when you take into consideration that the reason why children learn so quickly, when we learn so quickly and we pick up things so easily when we're young, it's because our creative mind is more in touch with our subconscious mind. You understand what I'm saying? Our subconscious mind is what controls who we are. Think about it. Numerous things that the majority of the things that we do in our adult life is actually done by our subconscious mind. When you walk, you don't think right, left, do you? When you lift up your arms, you don't think lift up the left arm. Well, that's the right arm. I don't know where the fuck I'm at today. Lift up the right arm. You're not thinking lift up the left arm. All of this is subconsciously done by our motor functions. You understand what I'm saying? So when we're subconsciously programmed to do things, we act on it immediately. It's like a reflex. You understand what I'm saying? So when you have a child that's between the ages of 1 and 7 and you're inputting good information, this is the type of things that they're going to now become reflex to them when they become an adult. If you're having a child between 1 and 7 and you're inputting bad information, this is the type of information that they're going to have when they become an adult. Do you notice that as an adult, this is just talking, now we're talking about adults. As an adult, think about the things that are easy for you. Think about the things that are simple for you. Think about the things that come commonplace. Think about that. Think about the things you like. These are things that you gravitate to, that is easy for you. Why? Because when you were a child, the primary functions that it took to do these things were put into you. You was taught these things at a very young age, whether you know it or not. So therefore, when you become an adult, you gravitate to these things. These things are simple. These things are easy. You understand what I'm saying? Now think about the things that are difficult for you to do, the things that you struggle doing, the things that you're always trying to do, but it's just hard. It's difficult. You struggle. The reason why you struggle is because your programming goes against achieving whatever that goal is. That thing that you're trying to do, your internal programming, your subconscious goes against this. The other day we was having a conversation and I was talking. I don't know if it was during the night show, if it was during the morning show, and we was having a conversation. And one of the things I told you is that I had some relatives that came over to me and they was like, yo, you got to learn how to lie. It's okay to lie some of the times, just some of the times. And the reason why this didn't work well with me was because when I was growing up, I was adverse to telling lies. It was just something that it just wasn't something that I personally was taught to do. So now, even in my older life, it's just not something that I do. I don't gravitate towards that. I gravitate away from that because that's what my programming is. So think about this when we're raising our children. The things that you want your child to be good at, and I'm not just talking about physically good at, like, oh man, I'm going to make my kid be able to run up 1,000,000 stairs so they'll be the best athlete. I'm not talking about things that just a physical thing. I'm talking about a mental thing. I'm talking about cognitive functions. I'm talking about being able to work out problems. I'm talking about being able to navigate through danger. I'm talking about being able to know what's good for us and knowing what's not good for us, and then being able to discern which one that we should go to or the one that we should get away from. That's what I'm talking about. These are the things that need to be taught to children when they're young, because the things that we learn when we're young is what we're going to grow up into. You understand? There's something that I say on and off. I usually don't try to harp on it, but that's the conversation today. I say that when you have a person, the individual that they were when they're 5 years old, when they're 6 years old, when they're 7 years old, when they're 8 years old, is the individual that they are today. The only difference is opportunity and intelligence. That's really the only difference. There is nothing else that's different. That's it. Now we're hiding him. I'm so serious today. He's hiding. He's hid. He's out of here. I'm not playing with you niggas today. People that wanna come and talk crazy, and we having a conversation about children and our love for the family ecosystem. When we're having a conversation about that, and people want to come in here and they troll, don't hide the motherfuckers. Don't time them out. We're not doing that. We love the kids over here. If a motherfucker don't want to think about, or if a motherfucker don't want to try to improve their lifestyle or their family, and they don't want other people to do it, fuck them. Anyway, the type of person that you are when you're 5, you're the same person when you're 35. The only difference is opportunity and an understanding of a better understanding of how life works. If somebody is raising a child to be a liar, they're still going to be, they was a liar when they was 5. They lied all the time when they was 5. They're still going to be lying when they're freaking 45, because that's who they are now. If you raise your child to steal, right, at a young age, if you raise your child to be a bully at a young age, if you raise your child to not love themselves at a young age, that's what they're going to grow into. The only difference is going to be opportunity and the intelligence to either be able to do the thing or not do the thing, or be able to do the thing better. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing that changes. So we need to work harder on understanding that there's just certain things we should not let our children see. We need to take advantage of every teachable moment. Every single teachable moment that happens, we need to take advantage of it. We need to stop saying, oh, well, I'll just wait till next time. Or too much time has passed. They're not going to remember. We need to stop doing that, because it's not whether we remember consciously, it's whether our subconscious gets the message so we can act on it as a reflex rather than as a cognitive function. How you doing today, Miss Prater? I am 100% against letting your children watch shows and you are not there seeing what programming that they're watching. I'm 100% against that. I think that what people need to stop doing, what people need to start doing is, if you want to sit your kid in front of the TV and you got stuff to do, not a problem. You go tape the programming where you know exactly what the child is watching. and you sit the child in front of that taped programming. I know that this tape programming is going to last for an hour. So my child can sit here while I go clean the house for an hour. I know the type of messages that my child will be receiving. You understand? That's what we need to be better on. Because when somebody tells me, oh, my kid just turned 13, I don't know why they so wild. I know why they wild. Because in the formidable years, you weren't doing any parenting. That's why. That's why when your kid turns 19, 20 years old, they have a hard life. That's why when your kid is in their 20s, they have a hard life. Because in those formidable years, when you were supposed to be giving them lessons, when you were supposed to be creating the individual that they're going to turn into, you was busy doing other shit. For whatever your reasons might be. Maybe you couldn't be home. Maybe you had to work 3 jobs. So I'm not bashing people. I'm just saying what it is. How are we going to make sure that our next generation has the material to be able to be successful? When I tell people, yo, when you get off the live, and I talk at night, and I'm like, yo, when you get off the live, you know, if there's somebody awake in your house, go hug them. You know what we're doing? We're forming habits. Form more positive habits, especially with the children. Look, if we as a community can form positive habits and then pass them down to our children, because remember, our children learn through observation. Our children learn through self-hypnotism. That's basically what children between 1 and 7 learn from. Self-hypnotism. So if we as parents, what's up, Cece? If we as parents form better habits, our children will see these habits. And subconsciously, they will absorb them. And that will become part of who they are. What do you think is going to happen when you wake up every morning? You got a 3-year-old. You wake up every morning, the first thing your 3-year-old see you do is drink a glass of water and eat a fruit. What you think your 3-year-old is going to want to do? What you think is going to happen when your children always see mommy and daddy in love with one another, treating each other with respect? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen if your children always see right after you eat a meal, you go brush your teeth? What do you think is going to happen? Children learn through observation. Observation is self-hypnotism. Through the ages of 1 and 7, all you have to do is be a good fucking adult. That's it. You're halfway there. You're halfway there. Stop letting TV raise our kids. Stop. Do you understand that your children spend more time at school than they do spend that time home with you? Okay, how long is school? About 8 hours, right? So let's say you wake your child up at 6:37 in the morning. Your child gets to school about at 8 o'clock. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So your child gets home about 3, 4, let's say 2. Let's say your child spends 6 hours at school, let's say, right? It's longer than 6 hours. But 6 hours at school, right? So what time you get off from work? Say you get off of work at 5, right? So you get off of work at 5 o'clock. That's 7, that's 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, if you got a A 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, shouldn't they be going to sleep by then? So you're trying to tell me at best you spend 5 hours a day with your child? Your child spends 6 hours a day at school? And that's not even talking about the kids that get off at 8. I mean, pardon me, that get off at 4. Because that's 4 o'clock. That's 8 hours at school. And they spend 5 hours at home. And what you do? You spend, what, a half an hour with them, 20 minutes with them? The rest of the time they're doing whatever they need to be, whatever you need to be doing, or whatever the case is. We need to be more active. We need to do more family things. I used to date this woman, right? Beautiful woman. Love the kids. Still do. And when I first started dating, as important as I think children are, when I first started dating her, I never really truly understood how important family functions were to the children. It was important. They loved going out and doing things with us. They loved it. I loved it too. Don't get me wrong. But they loved it. How often do I tell you I just do something good for the kids? How often do I tell you the weekend is for the kids? You got to spend one day in the weekend and just spend it with the kids. You just got to. They're spending 7 to 8 hours of school a day. They're spending 5 hours with you at most before they got to go to bed. That's just facts. It's just facts. Now, for everybody who's actually an adult now and you have terrible habits that you just want to kick, it's possible. We can always reprogram ourselves. Why not? Like I said, people learn through hypnotism and through repetition. That's what we learn through. So us as an adult, we have to, how do you say? Okay, our creative brain is our conscious brain. That's our creative brain. Okay. We are creative through our consciousness. That's how we're able to create things, make things, work things out, whatever. Right. But we want to tap into our subconscious. See, if you're actively thinking, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, that's great. But we want to tap into our subconscious, whereas the thing that we're not supposed to do, we won't even think about doing. We won't even gravitate towards doing those things. You understand what I'm saying? So we want to tap into our subconscious. But we're adults now. Nobody wants to be fucking hypnotized. Don't try to hypnotize me. You feel me? And since we're adults, it's also harder to self-hypnotize, although it is possible. Yo, I'm saying this one time, Mr. Gabagoo. I don't have no problems with you. You're the only person that I've given a warning to. But we're not fucking around today. I'm straight up hiding people. We're not doing that today. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm not playing. What up, BX? Us as an adult, one of the things that we can do in order to, our own problems, because you got to understand, sometimes us as an adult, we gravitate towards shit that we shouldn't want to. It's difficult to do things that we do want to do. Think about us as an adult, right? And think about the stuff that you try to do, but it's just hard. It's difficult. It's like, it should be much easier. And for other people, it's simple and it's easy. That's because your program is fighting it. That your subconscious programming is fighting the thing that you're trying to do. because your programming that you have, your internal programming that you have, is contrary to this thing, and it's fighting it. So what we want to do is we want to change our programming. We want to move from that way that we know is not good and go closer to the way that we know that we want to be. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to change our programming. We don't want to be hypnotized. We don't. I don't want no rap bastard hypnotizing me. Next thing you know, I'm like, I think I'm every time I hear like alarm clock go off and shit, I think I'm like a chicken for like 20 minutes. I don't want that shit. I don't want that shit. So we don't want other people to hypnotize us. And since we're adults now, it's much more difficult to self-hypnotize like it is when you're between the ages of 1 and 7. When you're between the ages of 1 and 7, it's much easier. So what we need to do is repetition. Anything that you want to now become part of who you are, you want it to become repetition. You must constantly do it. You need to create a habit. Okay? So this goes back into the same thing that I was saying a minute ago. The things that we want our children to become, we need to create that habit. You want your child to wash their hands every day before eating? Before they eat, make sure you send them to go wash their hands. You want them to brush their teeth every time after eating? After eating, go brush. But you can't just watch them do it or tell them to do it. You need to do it with them. When I first started, I'm going to tell a story and shit. When I first started actually urinating in the toilet, I used to just go to the bathroom. My pops went to the bathroom. We used to stand there and piss together. I was a little kid. I used to just stand there and piss together, me and my pops. What was he doing? He was teaching me a habit. You understand what I'm saying? That he was parenting at that moment. He was teaching me a habit. I still remember that to this day. So that's what we need to do with our children. We need to stop telling our children to do shit and doing it with them. You will help form a habit when you do it with them. And the more, I don't want to say, I'll say memorable, memorably positive the memory is, the more likely it is to be cemented into them. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the way that we need to be thinking. We need to be thinking, I want my child to grow up and be this type of human being. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actively be this type of human being with my children. Anybody have any questions? Shakes is right. You are the biggest kid. You are the biggest hero in your kid's eyes. That's facts. That's why everybody think their father could be everybody else's father. That's just facts, yo. Yes, unbiased truth said, if they can occupy the kids with building or growing things, those build characters and caring, it might help them if they get them into these type of getting hobbies for your children is very, very important. But we need to stop trying to make our children athletes all the time. Start working on puzzles with your children. You'll build cognitive function that way. Why don't get a what do you call them? Jigsaw puzzles. Start doing jigsaw puzzles with your children. Make that a family thing where y'all get some jigsaw puzzle and y'all work on it together. You understand what I'm saying? You'll build cognitive function. Everybody stop. Sports is great, but everybody stop trying to make your kid the next best athlete. Stop trying to make your kid the next best performer or athlete or singer. Look, man, we need doctors too. We need dentists. We need politicians. We need these things also. Stop trying to force our kids into a box. You know how pissed off I get whenever somebody talk about some kind of black kid that's good at a sport and they be like, oh man, he's going to be a good basketball player. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that's racist. That's a very bigoted and judgmental point of view. Pardon me, not racist. That's a very bigoted and judgmental point of view. Why can't this kid grow up to be some kind of biologist, an archaeologist, a lawyer. Why can't our kids grow up to be those things? Why are kids always got to be the next best basketball player or football player or baseball player? Or the next Chris Brown or Rihanna. I didn't say Nicki Minaj or Cardi B on purpose because them bitches is warring, but you get my point. Why? Why are we putting our own children in boxes? Why can't a kid be happy? Why can't we raise our children to be happy? Why? I'm going to tell you one thing that really pisses me off, all right? I'm going to tell you, no, I think all kids should play sports. Let's just be clear on that, Tim Tyler. I think all kids should play sports because sports teach certain lessons that it's hard to just organically teach. I think all kids should play sports. What I'm saying is I don't think that should be the crux of what you want your child to grow into. I think that you throw a whole bunch of shit out there and you see what your child gravitates to. Period. I used to play Pop Warner football. I learned a lot of lessons playing Pop Warner football. I learned more lessons under a coach playing football than I did not being coach playing basketball, and I was way better at basketball. Way better. The point that I'm trying to make is let's stop putting our children in boxes. You want to know who I feel bad for? And these guys, they paid, they millionaires. But I feel bad for them. I feel bad for the Ball kids. Lonzo Ball. I don't even know the rest of their names. I feel bad for them. Because imagine if they didn't even want to play basketball. Imagine if they wanted to do something else with their life, but their father forced them to play basketball. You ever seen a kid be forced to play a sport? No, they don't. One of them already want to quit. Two of them want to quit. Two of them want to quit, and the one that's playing, the two that went over there to play wherever they went to go play, the youngest one, he wants to go back to high school. They took this nigga out of high school when he was like 15. He didn't even get a chance to be a kid. He didn't even get a chance to be a kid. No, they aren't motivated in they workforce. It's kind of obvious. And Jello isn't even that good. And that's my point. Jello wanted to play football. Jello is not nice. Jello wanted to play football. He didn't want to play basketball. His father forced him. I thought you said you were a fan. You don't know that? You trolling me, Ed? Jello's not good, Joe. I know niggas right now that'll give Jello 50. I know niggas right now, like personally know niggas that'll give Jello 50. Did I also mention that I know quite a few people that play basketball overseas? Did I mention that? I might have mentioned that in a different chat, right? Yeah, I know quite a few people that play basketball overseas. I also know quite a few people. I know a couple of people that was in the N1 tournament also. That used to play in the N1 thing. I know a couple of those guys too. Yeah. I know niggas that'll give Jello 50. Stop, and stop trolling me. Please stop trolling me. Yeah, that's the last time I'm asking you, man. Just please stop trolling me. He's trolling me because he thinks it's funny. You just said Jello is the best scorer of the three. That's factually incorrect. How are you not trolling? Anyway, what we need to do is we need to program ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? Because the only way we can be better parents is if we first be better people. So we need to practice being better people. You think these things that I be talking about every day when I be like, yo, today, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go give $1 to charity. Or today, you know what we're going to do? We're going to just go be nice to somebody for some random reason. You think I just be coming up with these shits just off the top of my head? Yo, today, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna bring home some goodies for the wife. You think I just be just randomly coming up with this shit? I'm trying to give people ideas for new habits that they should try to take on. I don't know everybody on a intimate level. So I try to vary the things that I think that it would be a good idea to do. But it's very, very, very important to work on us, who we are. You understand? So yeah, so sometimes I say, yo, you know what we should do today? Bring the wife home some flowers. Or whatever the fuck it is that she likes. You know what we should do today? Do something nice for the kids. Let's take the kids out to eat. We want to create habits also. Sometimes people don't know how important you are to them. Or they are to you, pardon me. Oh wow, Mountain Rain she's pretty good looking over here. I did not know that, Mountain Rain. She just left a comment, right? So when people leave comments and I'm online like this, their picture be like bigger than usual. Mountain Rain's a cutie. She got blue eyes too and red hair. I used to have a thing for redheads back in the day. We need to get better habits because it really messes with me when I see somebody say, yell at their kid. Like I be out in public somewhere and you see somebody just disrespecting their kid, yelling at their kid. Stop doing it. Da, da, da. You know why the kid's doing that? Because you're a bad parent. Yeah, kids are gonna sometimes do things that we do. Oh shit, she's in here. What up, Myron Ring? How you doing, baby girl? Sometimes people they yell at their kids in public and then they want to act like that's not how they raise their children. That's exactly how you raised your kid. Like that's exactly how you raised your kid. Don't get it confused. Don't get a misunderstanding. If you see a kid out in public doing some stupid, now we all know that there's kids that just do some shit. I don't mean to say some stupid shit, but we all know that there's kids out there that they just do shit because they're kids. You understand what I'm saying? But if you see an adult that they constantly have to raise their voice and yell and scream at their kid in public, it's one thing to correct your kid in public and then your kid don't do the thing no more. You keep on going, you keep it pushing. The kid didn't know. The kid was experimenting. The kid was trying, whatever the case might be. But it's another thing when you have a situation where you see an adult or a parent and they're constantly yelling at their kid every 2 minutes, screaming at their kid every 2 minutes. You know what kind of learned behavior they're teaching their kid? They're teaching their kid. What you don't understand is when you're yelling and screaming at your kid, you're teaching your kid that violence is okay. That's what you're doing. You're teaching your kid that violence is okay. When you're always yelling at your kid, when you're always screaming at your kid, when you're always threatening your kid, whenever anything happens, the first thing you do is you go to absolutely not understanding shit and being crazy. You're teaching your child that violence is okay. What kind of human being you think they're gonna grow into? What kind of problems do you think that they just might have or pick up? What kind? We got kids nowadays that have been so traumatized due to the way that they have been spoken to, that have been so traumatized through the embarrassment that they've experienced in the public from their own family. that they don't know anything, nothing except for confusion and uncertainty. They don't know anything else. So when you raise somebody like that, what do you think is going to happen when they get into a situation in their life and somebody is taking advantage of them? They're going to allow that individual to take advantage of them because they don't know any other way. So if you truly love your children, one of the main things that we need to teach them is to love themselves. There is no parent on the face of this earth that has been a good parent that did not teach their children to love themselves. Any parent out there that has not taught their children to love themselves, I don't give a fuck what else you did. You have failed your children. I don't care what else you did. If your child does not love themselves, you have failed them. So I know somebody, right? I'm not going to call them by name. So I love somebody, right? I know somebody, right? Don't love them. I just know them. And they was having a conversation with somebody, and they told the individual that the reason why they listen to somebody else is because they have more money than them. Think about that for a minute. Not because they're smarter than them. Not because they have a happy life. Not because they have done things in their life that was extraordinary. Not because they appreciate their goals or their the things that they want to do in life. Not because of any of that. Simply because that individual has more money than them. That's it. And because that individual has more money than them, they have decided that that individual knows everything, that they look up to them. Think about that for a minute. Just think about that. Basically, this person puts an onus on having money over everything, I would assume, by that statement. That there is nothing that this person deems more important than money. They didn't say, I look up to this individual because, they follow the Bible, or I like the what's going on with them, or, they got a good family. I like the way that they carry themselves as a man, or as a woman, or, whatever the case might be. They look up to them because they have more money. That tells me two things about this individual. The first thing it tells me about this individual is this individual has no self-esteem. This individual does not think very much of themselves. Because let's say this person has all of it. They didn't even say because of the way that the person got the money. So you're trying to tell me you look up to a person that maybe is a pimp and sells women and they got money, so it don't matter how, right? But I'm not even going to go all the way there because I could even go even more left field with that. So today, because we're cutting it short today, because I got some stuff I got to do. Today, what we need to do is we need to start forming habits. I'm always talking to y'all about forming habits without actually saying forming habits. Just think about how I close out almost every show, especially the Tonight Show. I'm always talking about forming good habits. So we're going to work on forming good habits that that revolves around the person that you currently are. You're going to think about something that you want to change about yourself. We're going to think about something that we want to improve about who we are. Think about that. It might it might take you a couple of minutes. Think about it. When you could, and don't think about a million different things, because we're not trying to change a million different things at once. We're working on one thing at a time. Think about something that you really want to change about yourself that you feel can improve who you are. Think about that thing. Find one thing that you can improve who you are by switching a habit. And try to make that a new habit. That's what we're going to do. Rome wasn't built in one day. Don't be scared of failure. Failure is progress. If we handle failure the right way. If we handle failure the right way, failure is progress. We want to fail up. Appreciate you, Mr. Tim Tyler. We want to fail up. Okay? We don't want to fail and have excuses. We don't want to fail and blame other things. We want to fail, recognize why we failed, honestly, figure out a way that we can improve that situation and then go again. Appreciate you for the donation, Lady Blue. We want to fail up. Yes, I am 100% against telling people they are right when they are wrong. I am 100% against that. Sometimes that's going to hurt relationships because people don't care. They just want you to agree with them in the moment. But when you truly care about somebody and when you truly want somebody to succeed, you're going to tell them when they could have done better. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to find a habit. One habit. Because if you don't want to try with 3 and 4, because we don't know, because remember, when you're trying to switch a habit, when you're trying to change something about yourself, you're going contrary to what your natural inclinations are. You're going against who you are. We want to change our bad habits, get good habits, hold on to those good habits, and then pass them to our offspring. Because we can't raise better children unless we be a better us. I love y'all. Everybody have a beautiful day. And for everybody that got a spouse, bring them a snack home. If you like, let's like flowers, if it's flowers, cheesecake. Maybe if you got the kids, maybe you go not take them to a movie, but maybe we order pizza tonight and sit down in front of the TV and watch a movie together and have an experience together. If you don't like movies, maybe we get a board game and play a board game and just laugh with each other and just enjoy each other's company. Some of y'all got families. I wish I had one. Enjoy them. Anyway, that's all I got for today. I love y'all. Please, everybody, enjoy your day. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification game. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. That's all I got on this one. I'm out.